Ivan Eland, Senior Fellow at the Research Center of the Independent Institute in Washington. Mr. Eland, good morning.
Good morning.
Sir, in the early going of this election, we were told that all these candidates represent the same people anyway. There's no real choice, and yet there's a bit of a sense that maybe this was the one guy who might take us down the road toward moderation. What's your sense of this?
Well, I think it was a surprise among Western analysts because if any of the six candidates were more pragmatic, he probably is. I think we sometimes mirror what we want to happen, though. I mean, he still only has limited power. He has more power over the economy than anything else, the president of Iran, simply because the real leader is unelected, the Ayatollah Khamenei, and of course, he's also the one who's going to be in charge of any concessions to the West on the nuclear program. But that doesn't mean that the new president won't have some sway, because he was a former nuclear negotiator. So hopefully we should remain hopeful that some progress can be made.
Mm-hmm. What do you make of Rouhani when he says wounds with the United States run deep, difficult to heal? What does that mean?
Well, I think he's probably going back to when the U.S. in 1953 overthrew an elected leader called Mossadegh and reinstated the Shah. And of course, the Shah was brutal repression, and that's what led to the eventual Iranian revolution and the taking of hostages. And of course, we all know that since then the relationship hasn't been very good. So we've had lots of bad years with the Iranian regime, the clerical regime there, and you don't unwind that in a couple of minutes. But I think, you know, perhaps this is hopeful. I don't think we should get too giddy yet, but certainly this is some cause for surprise and perhaps, you know, some optimism.
Mm-hmm. Surely, however, when he says there might be more openness around the nuclear program, surely he wouldn't have said that without clearing that with the ultimate boss.
Well, I think so, but you never know. I mean, being a little more open, it doesn't mean negotiating it away, and that, of course, that's what the U.S. and the Western countries want Iran to do. They want them to either negotiate their nuclear program away, or if they do continue to enrich uranium, they want a lot of restrictions placed on that so that they can't build a bomb with it. And that's a different story than just being open with it. And the Iranians haven't been totally open in the past, so that would be an improvement if they were more open. But of course, that's not the primary goal of the West.
But if the West can deal with a fresh face, someone with some experience and some clout, is this not a step in the right direction? Because Ahmadinejad had become, I think, an impediment because he stood for too much, including the destruction of Israel, that we in the West just cannot tolerate.
Yeah, he was sort of he was a lightning rod, really. And I think a new face will be good. And I'm optimistic that perhaps something can happen. It's certainly better than the alternative, because the military options against the nuclear program aren't that good. They don't know where all the facilities are. A lot of them are buried. And even if you attack the country with air power, you probably won't get it all, and therefore the Iranians will just redouble their efforts to get a nuclear weapon, if that's what their intention is. And it's not completely clear that that's their intention. They may do what Japan did, is they may go up to the line and then say, we're not going to put the pieces together. So we'll have to see, but certainly they're headed toward a nuclear weapon, and if you bomb them, I think they're probably going to just redouble their efforts. The military options aren't very good, and so I think negotiation is the only way to go, and this is a hopeful sign.
Ivan Eland is a Senior Fellow at the Independent Institute in Washington. Good to see you, sir. Thank you very much for this.